Luis Diaz. Oh my God. There was a point, and I don't want to put this on someone's toes. I don't know whether it was Chris or Steve or whoever. Someone was saying this. It was like, he's our best player last season. I'm not sure he's good enough to be our best player. Chris. Okay. He's our best player this season, and he's good enough to be our best player on this kind of form.
Yeah, I think we all knew his quality, but we didn't know whether he had the output there to you know be a forward for us after the blueprint of Mane, Firmino and Salah. But my word, is he on fire. He's on fire for Colombia as well. And look, he lost the final with Colombia, and I thought someone's going to have to pick him up off the ground here, because that is devastating for the lad. And what he's done is he's just turned that into determination to start the season even better. He's been electric. He looks like when he gets the ball, he already knows what he's going to do. How many times last season did I think maybe he was just overthinking it? And right now he's just so sharp. We're getting him in the areas in which he doesn't have to drag the ball 20 yards up the pitch and then give it to someone else. I think him and Robbo are linking up quite well as well. And yeah, his finishes. The first one is he just doesn't give up on a ball. Look, that Ibu, everyone can say it's an assist, sure. But when I watched that inside the ground, the entirety of the cop went, what's he done? Oh, hello. And
sometimes the player can make it into an assist. Yeah. In fact, Mohamed Salah gets an assist on the day. We'll talk about that a bit later on. But yeah, it's an assist created by the brilliant Luis Diaz.
And he doesn't give it up, and he causes, the madness of Kepa to do what he did, and he puts it in the back of the net. And then his second one is a great finish on his weaker foot as well, this time through the keeper. And that is what you want to see. You want to see him in those areas, and clearly he is lethal. That is where your Sadio Mane would be. That's the finishes that he'd make. So I think we're just feeding him in the correct places right now. Yeah. And even when he is one-on-one and when he's got to drag it 20 yards, he can do that. He's Luis Diaz.
Well, he's not ran 50 yards before he gets there. No, we said exactly. This a couple of weeks ago before the international breakdown. We were talking about the simplification of the message for Liverpool's wide men. And it's not necessarily to say it's simple. It's just much more simple than everything else they were being tasked with doing. Diaz is playing 20 yards closer to the goal as a starting point. He's making... Chloe said it, that's a Sadio Mane goal. It's not the same goal as Bayern Munich away, but it's got real hallmarks of that, where it's a long punt up by the defender and he just gets there and reacts better than the people around him. I actually thought it was a proper Luis Suarez goal. I'd been talking to people earlier on in the day about some of the vintage Suarez moments, and it had Newcastle. Like another one, Jose Enrique lumping it down the line and Suarez making something out of it. Yeah, I mean, the second goal is the goal that he should be scoring.
Yes.
But the first is what a truly brilliant footballer scores.
The second goal, I'm not sure he finishes that last season.
No, something's clicked, something's different. Absolutely, yeah. Because he did get in a lot of similar positions, and he actually could have scored twice before he scored at the weekend. He had that one long-range effort, which we have seen him do and try a few times, actually be successful with. Once or twice, which is tipped over the bar quite well, actually by Kepa. Then there's one in a similar position to his second, whereby Kepa actually saves again. Well, but no, something's definitely changed in Luis Diaz. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm absolutely here for it. He is sensational right now. Absolute live wire, just a constant threat. It feels like he is getting in better positions, in better situations from which to score. I think you're right on the Mane point. I think both of the goals were quite Mane-esque, and the type of goals you want him to be scoring. The type of goals always question whether he has the ability to score as well. But he's actually, the first one reminded me of the goal he scored against Brighton a little bit. When he gets his head on it and he gets his head taken clean off, just getting across, and that never said that attitude, the willingness to make something out of nothing, as you touched upon there. So yeah, once again, absolutely brilliant performance. And he is just phenomenal right now in the competition on that left-hand side, because I don't know if we're going to touch on Gakpo before. He actually did quite well when he came on as well. Like, those two scrapping and fighting out for that left wing spot. It is Luis Diaz's right now. It's his shirt. Make no two ways about it. But yeah, it's a real fight, and we've got that's proper options out there.
Yeah, that's a reaction. We did this on the post-match show from the weekend, Chris. We did the Player Ratings podcast, and
the Forest game.
Whichever one it was when we were doing the player ratings, and we were it was Milan, and we were talking about Cody Gakpo on the left hand side, and we ended up actually accidentally damning Costa Tsimikas more than we probably should have done in that comment. But this is what we were talking about. This is competition, so it's a bit like the gauntlet was handed down to Cody Gakpo in the San Siro, and he went, right, son, I'm going to go and run the show from the left wing, and then having done that, Diaz sat there and went, okay, cool. can I have it back?
Watch
Boss,
this.
have a look at this. And yeah, that's the kind of performance you kind of have to put down, because Gakpo was sensational against Milan, and Diaz was even better at the weekend.
Yeah, and that's right, isn't it? I think, what everybody said is spot on so far. I mean, for me, he still likes that near post thing a little bit too much. Obviously, his first shot, I think he drives past the player, doesn't he? And he goes near post and the keeper saves it or whatever. And I'm not sure the second was a particularly good finish, to be honest, his second goal. I think that's a percentage shot, but you have to put it on target. And that was one thing I think I've noticed, is that he's actually putting shots on target. He was not missing, and it sounds stupid, but sometimes you just got to try. You just got to work the goalkeeper and make the save. Nobody ever
critiqued where Mane put his finishes, exactly. But if you actually went back and looked at them,
they're not great finishes, but they're all on target, and the keeper is unable to save it. The first goal, the way for me, I was looking at it back and I was thinking to myself, okay, what would you do if you were in that situation? And I think my natural reaction would be to maybe chest it down or something, but he jumps and cups it with his knee, doesn't he? And it just takes all the speed off the ball, and he just gets it. And obviously then he's just about, what are you going to do with the finish? Can you get it past the player who their defender, didn't he?
He overran it, didn't he?
He overran it, and he almost puts his arm out, and they might have been better for him getting sent off and then sitting in. They might have given us more of a tough thing side to unlock if they'd have done something like that. But you can't fault the player for deciding not to handball it and deliberately stop a goal.
That near post one that you referenced there, it's one of them where the time you go, just square it. And I think it's Darwin's right centre, and he does the arms, and I'm sure Salah's probably doing the same at the back post. But Diaz is playing like the main man for Liverpool, which he should be. He's 27 years old. Salah's supposed to be in the twilight of his career, and everyone thinks he's going to go on forever, but he's in his 30s. He's the old head of our attack now, and Darwin's coming in and fighting for his place. It's Diaz's place. He's got every right. The only thing is that you free up the ability to score that goal, I think, if you've crossed one already, and you just put it in two minds for the goal.
Well, he did it last week as well, didn't he, where he went near post on the keeper and tried to catch him out. And that's, again, something that if you just go far post, the next one you get the chance to go near post, or you send it across the box or something. But generally speaking, his all-round play has been absolutely sensational.
Luis Diaz is on 5 goals for the season already. He scored 8 in the league last year. And we're 5 games in.
That's
also
crazy.
That's 2 against Bournemouth, it's 2 against United as well. That's a big time player right now, where we were kind of crying out for a big time player last season. He is proving that so far.
I think you saw the Anthony Gordon rumours.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I think the other thing is that Salah, although still takes a lot of shots, isn't having as big a percentage of shots as he normally does. Obviously, Darwin was averaging about 5 shots a game last season or something whenever he played. He only had 3 shots a game in this one. Mo Salah had 4 shots. Diaz had 4 shots. So he's actually getting more shots as well. And I wonder whether that's just something whereby we're not leaning into Salah quite so much. And obviously, because Jota's been playing rather than Núñez, we've not had that sort of guy through the middle who's taking 5-6 shots a game, and it's just spreading them out a little bit more. And it's actually helping Diaz now, because he's a bit more of a part of the front 3 rather than the final player to get the shot.
There is a chance that those stats are wrong.
They're not wrong.
No.
It might not be borne out over the course of a season.
There's a chance Salah's stats are wrong, because they might be measuring every one of the shots that he actually took as a pass back to the goalie, and not an actual shot on goal. Because in my mind, he had 100 shots at the weekend, and every single one of them was a tame hero back to the goalie.
That ball from McAllister, are you messing me?
Yeah, silly, wasn't it? Yeah, that deserved to be an assist, that, didn't it? But
I can't believe he messed
up. The lack of donkey work.
I gave him the assist.
For that, yeah, why not? Yeah, why? We'll tally there. I think the lack of donkey work that Diaz is now doing, and the ability to just be part of an attacking front line is definitely part of the change in the output in Luis Diaz.
He's always at the back post as well. Sometimes last season he wouldn't be in the box because you're just betting on Jota or you're betting on someone else. And like we said, he's there, he's kept the width, but also he's dragged it 20 yards up the pitch. He's got to pass it off to someone. He can't carry on doing that. We're providing him. We're saying you just get yourself in a position where you're likely to score or you're dragging a defender to, and we'll put it on a plate for you. And I'm looking at the likes of United where he's just late into the box, back post. I've just been really impressed. I hope he continues this form because he's been electric.
He has always had this ability to score different types of goals. I think we've seen that, but just in drips and drabs. We've never seen him go on a prolonged run of goal scoring form like we are right now. Long may continue, of course. But remember the Luton goal, he scored that back post header in the round, what was going on with Dan, stuff like that. The Chelsea games last season, arriving at the back post, the sort of goals you'd want him to be scoring. And he scored the odd, worldie, in inverted commas. I mentioned the Brighton one a moment of getting his head on something where it hurts. So he's always had that knack and that ability. It's just getting him to do with regularity. And for whatever reason, like I touched on earlier on, something has clicked over to somewhere beyond a slot, having a word with him, whatever. It's definitely working right now.
Well, look, fitness. Like he was a goal machine in Porto. He came to us mid-season, played a ton of football.
And he played the most minutes out of anyone in that squad that season.
And in Europe, he played more minutes than anyone because he went from playing every minute from Porto to playing basically every minute from Liverpool in the middle of a quadruple challenge.
Colombia's main man whenever he goes there.
Colombia's main man. And then he gets a bad injury at the start of the season when he's actually looking really, really sharp at the start of that. By all accounts, that was misdiagnosed. So instead of coming back after the Qatar winter break, he then is out for months on top of that. Last season, he's had all those extra issues going on. And look, forget this sometimes, is that he's in his prime years and he's now fully fit. He's not got any off the field distractions as well, by the looks of it. And the manager, there might just be a thing where some players are a natural fit for a particular manager's style of play. We've discussed that for a couple of lads. Ryan Gravenberch is the one that we've been pairing over for a few weeks, but it just could be that. It just might be that he was just a much better fit for slot football than he was for Pep Linder's Klopp footy, early days, of course, but the Punisher sent us a super chat. Good to see. Taking a break from his vengeance against the mafiosos. To say, does Chloe still want to sell Diaz for Claire Balding?
I'd like Claire Balding still.
Keep up the great work. Now I'm not having this because I too played the hilarious Anthony Gordon looks like Claire Balding card, but that was before I realised he was a Liverpool fan. He was just a blue-nosed rat when I was passing them joking. Fine, okay. You'll take the piss out of Evertonians all you want.
I'd still have him, please.
Yeah,
doesn't mean I want to sell Diaz, but I'd still have him.
The problem there now, isn't there? Because all of a sudden you've got 3 left wingers.
That's fine with me.
Keep them coming.
It's fine with Liverpool, yeah.
They love a left winger.
Something's got to give
Well, we've lost one because Jota doesn't play there anymore.
Yeah.
So come on.
But Nunes might.
Nunes could.